Hello, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to you and to you too, Mr. David Ondieki.
Thank you, thank you.
How have you been?
I've been good. And how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Can't complain. I'm so grateful. Life has been great.
Thank you.
Yeah. How does it feel to be back home?
It feels good. I'm happy to be home. I've met my people, and it has been a moment. But also the environment, the weather is good here. It's sunny, and I'm feeling good, and also getting the natural organic food. So I'm happy to be home. Yes.
That's really lovely. It's good to see you. Anyway, the last time you were here, we got to know you as a person, as David, and we even got to know about your organization, Bamo Foundation, right?
Yes.
And we had a question that was pending. The last time, you were not so sure if you would give in to the rumors that were being said about you trying to run for the MCA of Menengai West, and you promised to give us an answer. And this year, it's a year later, guys, by the way, and we have managed to find him again and put that question on the pedestal again. So tell us, what did you decide on finally?
It's not what I decided on, but it's what the people of Menengai decided.
Yes.
They have been, they have put me under pressure to decide on running as a member of county assembly, and I've given in to the pressure, and so I can tell you today that I am in, or I'll be running for the seat or position of the member of the county assembly of Nakuru as a MCA from Menengai West.
That is
Ward.
lovely.
Yes.
A confirmation that is, you've had it fast, you've had it right. From the man himself, he has said it.
That's
He
right.
is running, right?
I'm running.
That's a good decision. I wish you
Yes.
all the best in advance. And then I will come back to business where after coming back home, I know you've been here for a while. I've been seeing you around doing a lot of things going on. Can you tell me more about that? Can you?
Yeah, well, for sure, as you said, yeah, now I'm back home.
Yes.
And here now to stay
Yeah.
so that I can work or be with the people of Menengai Westward and the community.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that since I came back, I've been going around, I've been running around to consult, to see for myself, and to scan around to see what is going on. So I've visited a couple of churches, I've been here and there. Also, I've gone to different schools to see what is the state
Okay.
of the schools, of the facilities around. I've visited a couple of markets. The Mamamboga, I've visited them. I've visited the Boda Boda groups and a few women organizations. In fact, I can't, right now, I can't count how many I've visited. And it has been a pleasure and also a privilege to kind of understand what is there, what is on the ground. You know, sometimes you hear about things, but you don't know what they are. But right now,
Sure.
I can tell you that I have a feel of what is on the ground through the events which I've attended. Either it's the funeral, either it's going to a church service, or it's a fundraising I've been called to. So I've been moving around.
That is lovely indeed. Well, there's this other part where, based on your experience on being on the ground, based on what you've seen and felt as you claim, there's this part where, of course, as a nation, we have challenges and we have our strengths.
For
And
sure.
from Menengai Westward specifically, as you've gone around, what can you tell me are the challenges that we're facing and the strengths?
Yeah, I can say that for one, the resilience of the people is great, and I give it to them because there are challenges, but they are resilient.
Yeah,
They have done the best to survive under the circumstances.
true.
But also, I've seen that there's a lot of challenges, more so in the infrastructure. The road network is not the best. More so the feeder roads. We have a lot of potholes. The roads getting from one corner to another is not easy, and it's something which I've had many complaining about, and which something needs to be done. Also, I've encountered the issue of water
Yeah.
and the sanitation. The issue of water in Menengai West, and I think I can tell you Rongai in general, it's dire.
Okay.
Uh, Not many people have water or access to clean drinking water, and that's something which once I get into leadership, or if I'm voted in, some of that's one of the things I'm going to look at more, so the water and the water access and the sanitation. So that's one of the other issues or challenges which I've seen around. And another challenge I've encountered is mostly like the schools. There are some schools which are outside the town or the city,
Yeah.
inside, like I can say, call them rural schools
Yeah.
within Menengai West,
True.
where some services like food. Sometimes the government gives food. The government gives maybe pads for ladies or for girls, but they don't get there. So you find that there's no equity
Yes.
or fairness in the distribution of the things which the government gives. And now, as an MCA of Menengai West, those are the things I'm going to look at. Once things are come from the government or the local government, I have to make sure that they also reach those schools which are deep inside the rural area, so that they don't get disadvantaged
Okay.
by the schools which are more closer to the city or closer to the town. And also one of the other issues which I've come across, and which can be really worked on or taken care of, is the lighting.
Okay.
You know, in the city or in the markets, we find that we don't have lights or lighting.
Yes.
And if there is, then they have not worked for the last 1 year. So you find like just a pole standing, but there's no lights. Some, I'm told that, since this was put here, we call them mulkamwisi, right? Is that right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they were put there at a very exorbitant price cost.
Yes, yes.
And I found that one cost like 450.
Oh.
But they put 450 there, but for a whole year it's not working.
It's not working. True.
So I think we need to look at ways of making it better, instead maybe of using the 450 to do one mulikamwisi. Then we can look at can we do maybe a solar is maybe it's 150.
Yeah.
We can put 3 lighting or street lights,
Yes.
which is going to help us for those mamamboga, the border, they can give safety or security,
Yeah.
and also they can light our markets.
Yes.
So that's one of the challenges I've been told and I've encountered in most of the local markets around, which is something is fixable, and I look forward to fix that once I'm 14, so that our mothers, our border, even our community, they can walk safely, regardless whether it is night or day. Thank you.
Yeah, that is lovely. I have loved how you have brought in the challenges from a deep level, from a detailed part of it, where you can get to know that he really knows what he's doing. He really knows what he wants, and he's really willing to put in the energy to be on ground himself. And I have picked 2 things from what you've said, and this come as I could call it manifesto, as they say it. But yeah, just like you said, if you're voted in, these are some of the things you will do, right? And one other thing I would like to question, the world as we live in has different categories for us human beings, right? We have the financial sector, we have mental sector, we have physical sector, we have different categories of life, true? And some of them you've mentioned and some of them you've not mentioned. And I know you have a development plan, of course, now that you're sure that you're running, and I would like to question more on that part. What do you think, what more do you think you can offer to Menengai West Ward and its citizens after being on ground? Please tell us your development plans.
That's a good question,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm not trying to be a little bit maybe tricky or rude to not to answer your questions,
Okay.
but what I'll say that as politicians, most of us, we come to the ground, or we come here and tell people, tell you, hey, I'm going to come here and build for you a road to heaven.
True.
Come and build you a house in the castles, you know. I'll come and build you a school, put you a tarmac, you know, things which you are thinking as a
Okay.
politician.
True.
But those are the things, those are not the things they, you, the common people, are thinking.
Yeah.
Like Menengai West ward is a cosmopolitan
Okay.
and multicultural, and also is diverse.
Yes.
There are those who don't need the roads. They are okay. They are closer to the to the town, so they don't need roads. So if you are coming, you are telling the people of Menengai West, "Hey, I'm coming to build you roads. I don't need those roads." You know.
True.
So there are those who just need the basic living things or conditions to survive. They just, all they need is food. So the thing is, how are we going to get this food? So what I've learned from my experience
Yeah.
is that I come to the people and try to create or to develop my agenda.
Okay.
While as much as I have the things I want, but also now for the time I'm here, I've been here, and for the next couple of months, I'm going to look at what do the people want, what is required down in Rorongai, which is not the same as what is required in Mangu.
Yes.
It's not the same as what is required in Arapchumo.
That is true.
The Masingeri people, they are different than the people at Kijo.
True.
Kijo wants more feeder roads, you know.
Yes.
But people at Masi, Njeri, they want a market.
Yes.
They want street lights. But the people in Arapchumo, most of them, they want water.
Yeah.
So how do we balance these things? So, and my development plan or my agenda or my manifesto, as we might call it,
Yes.
is going to come from the people themselves. So I'm not going to kind of tell you I'm going to come with this. So I'm still going around trying to see what is it that the people of Menengai West need. I know, like, there are those challenges which are common,
Yes.
as I've told you. The road infrastructure is kind of a common thing
Yeah.
within the ward.
Okay.
So what I'm going to look at is how do we help it? How do we develop the road network? And more importantly, the feeder roads. The feeder roads are in a terrible state right now. In fact, I can tell you, even my the feeder road here coming from up going down to Baraka, it's in a terrible state. You know,
Yeah.
I usually joke around and say that you know, if you're pregnant, you might get or bear the child before you get
Before
to
I
the
get to the
hospital. So
hospital.
you know, and it is like so. We need to improve that. Even to do what we call the gradings of those feeder roads. And also, I know as I've moved around, like the people of Mangu, most of them are farmers. Most of them, they want to, they have animals. They are, you know, they want to do things which can help them. So we are going to look at with them, how are we going to improve our farming? Maybe new techniques. And because of my experience, and I have, you know, have contacts of people from different places and maybe some schools from Canada,
Yeah.
which you find that they are tailored towards agricultural products or how to improve the husbandry, the crops, the animals. So that's the time I think we are going to work on the education of these farmers. How can they improve their animals? How can they improve their agricultural products and make it better? So like mango, so they will need that,
Yeah.
but which might also be different than the people of Masingeri who will be needing street lights, who will be needing a modern market or a soko so that they can be able to sell their products.
Yeah.
So in that process of developing that agenda with the people. Yes.
Okay, that is lovely. Now I have a new way of thinking about things because it has hit me, just like you said, we all have different needs. we don't need the same thing. So we cannot just have a common agenda because people need different things. And people from one area might need different things. And another from another area, other things. And it's okay. But now we have realized that our MCA Inspiring has decided to work with the public instead. And this is where you come in, guys. This is where you can comment down below and tell us, where do you think in Menengai Westward can get some help, can get some improvement? In what sector, in what area of the area where you're staying needs more, how will I call it? Support,
Support,
right?
you
Yeah,
know.
we all need support, yeah? So comment down below and tell us, where are you listening from? Where are you watching us from? And also tell us, what do you think politicians who are coming in the new era that will be marked next year in 2027, what do you think they should be doing different compared to what others have been doing? Of course, we are all tired of, just like you said, people, politicians talk and talk and talk and talk. And now
That's
we're
true.
getting tired, right? We're getting tired and we want to see actions now, right? And I don't know what's better way to do it than to do it with the people themselves, right?
Yeah,
That's a very interesting.
that's very true. Like
Yes.
it is time because people know what they want.
Yes, that's true.
People know what is it that they want, where they are, what is their priorities, and it's important for us politicians to kind of work with them, so that we can be able to provide or give them what they need. We are more of our custodians. We are more of our leaders. They need to tell us. Then we figure out how do we make it better, or whatever they need. How do we help them? Like as MCA, there are things which will need fiscal assistance, but also there are things which needs legislation. They need just policy decisions.
Yes.
And how we as the MCAs, we as the leaders, how do we help others? How do we make these policies? How do we legislate for some things which can be able to help the common mwananchi here, so that as much as we say maybe road network, if we don't have a proper legislation, we might say we want health, but now it needs this health. How do we do it? Now how do we do it? It has to come through the legislation, so that now with the policies, proper policies, then now we can be able to improve our health, whether it is health facilities, whether it's the way people are treated when they go to those facilities.
Okay.
Because I've come to find that unlike developed countries,
Yes.
here, let's say here in Kenya, you find that we go to the hospitals, you can get sick, break your leg,
Yeah.
go to the hospital, but because you don't have money, you will suffer for the next 12 hours. No one is looking at you, and you are suffering. Then you wonder, like, where's the humanity? Until now, once you give the money, or once you are sure or she has been verified that you have, then that's when the treatment starts. But you have been mourning, you have been crying for the last 12 hours. So those things like that, they need to change, and they can only change with the legislation.
Sure.
Most countries, like let's say the US or Canada and many others, the first thing is when you go to an emergency, they do what we call first aid. They look at you first as a person. Hey, what brought you here? How can we stabilize you? Once they stabilize you, then they start thinking about the money. Now, how are you going to pay?
Yeah.
And that's something which I feel like we are able to do it even here.
Also, yes.
And that's something which now, like, the health has been devolved to the county. Also, then it needs people who are kind of visionary to see and bring also legislation which is going to touch on those issues. And if we do it, then now the common mwananchi will be able to get the treatments they deserve without thinking about money first. Yes.
That is very lovely. A wise man once told me that a good leader is a leader who serves you, not, how do I put it? No, but a leader is just a leader who serves instead, right? And not dictate. Yeah, there's a difference between a person who works for you and a person who works with you, right? It makes a bit more impact. Yeah. And one thing I have been
Yeah,
picking,
a leader is a servant.
right? Yes, he's also a servant.
But
and that's
mostly
true.
we find that we are the bosses.
We are the bosses
which is
here,
not
and
supposed to be.
it is unfortunate.
Right.
But we hope to make it better. Do you plan to make it better?
That's what I want to improve. I want to be the servant of the people.
True.
Not the people to be my servants.
True.
And I think that's where we will have a difference between most of the people, my competitors, all those who are aspiring for leadership. But also that's something which I feel like I'm going to show by example.
Yes.
Once I get there, to show people that service, what we call community service, because I've been a community person.
Yes.
So I know what it means to be a community servant or provide service to the community. And I want to extend as much as I'm going to this MCA. And as you know that is one of the lowest in the hierarchy
Yes,
of the legislative arm.
Okay, yeah.
But as much as it's the lowest, but it has the greatest impact.
Yes.
Because that's where the people are, the who get the direct impact or the direct service. So if I can be able to use my community service, I can be able to now come and understand the people, understand what they need, this voluntary work. And I can tell you, as an MC, if we have that volunteer kind of mentality and the service to the community, then now we'll know that we are the servants of the people, but not the people being our servants. And that's one thing I want to embrace once I become the member of your county assembly.
Okay, that is very interesting. Last time, I insist, go and watch the other video, then you'll understand what I'm saying. Because last time, when we talked with David, I highlighted some few things that I liked about him. I realized he has a lot of experience in the political world, and just as he has reminded us right now, he also has community experience, right? Which is good. And what more is better than a leader who has more experience, right? And with all this experience, still willing to be part of you, right? And not be ahead or on top of you. Do you get the difference, right? And that is really inspiring. I have not seen that in many leaders, but I'm seeing that here. And what more than to say that is a true leader for us, right? Anyway, I have a very tricky question. Save the best for last, right? They say. Anyway, there's this question where you've mentioned your competitors. Of course, they are there. And then there's a part where we now know you're running for MCA, right? It has been acknowledged. And there's a second question, which party?
That's a good question,
Yes.
Natasha. And I'll say that for the party, I might not give you the answer you wanted to hear, and I know you wanted. So I know what you want to hear, but I'll tell you that my being here and going around is for one to understand the people, to understand the needs of the people, and also the people to know me as a person, to know me as David Ondieki. Or sometimes they call me Bamo.
They do.
So I want people to understand who is this David? What does David bring? And how is he going to behave going forward or in the future? Now in that, once they understand who I am, then I'll work with you or with the people around the constituency to see what party do they want to serve them.
Okay.
But while I have not answered your question the way you wanted, but I also will say that, most of us, most politicians, or what has really bogged us down, what has really imetufanya tunaenda nyuma sana, ni ile mambo ya kuuliza hiyo mambo umeuliza hiyo swali party. So we kind of get so accustomed to the party. Oh, ni gari gani unaendea? What party are you going with? Kind of get accustomed to the party or to the chama to a point that they don't look at the people. So once you get accustomed, maybe, a UDA, a Jubilee, KANU. So that gets into your head. You love KANU, or you love Jubilee, or you love UDA, or you love whatever you love DCP. But then down here because umependa party hapa chini unawekea kondoo. Sasa ukiwekea kondoo ndio ulikuwa umependa party.
Yeah.
Sasa unashindwa hii kondoo itaenda kupitisha sheria huko bungeni. Hii kondoo itaenda kufanyia development.
Kweli.
You know? So let's look at the person first. Let's understand what is this person going to come. So that's why I'm going around. Let people know who I am. Let people understand.
Yeah.
Then now, when I'll come with their consultation and their wishes, they will tell me what vehicle is good for me.
That is true.
And if they decide what vehicle, or if they decide you don't need a vehicle, we know that you can do it the way you are saying, and you can do it without a vehicle, it will be their decision.
True. That
Thank
is
you.
very interesting. You know,
Yes.
anytime I have an interview or I get to question him, I get new insights and I love it. I get new ideas, I get new perspectives, I get new ways to see things in life. And it's so amazing because it's better when you're getting it from a person who's aspiring to be a leader for the people, you know, and with the people, just as I kept on insisting. And there's this part where Kenya is a democratic, right?
That's right.
And what is democracy if it is not for the people, or it's supposed to be the people who are, you know,
Who
contributing.
needs to decide?
Yeah, who needs to
You know.
decide. And I love how he's actually bringing it out fully. Even as we've just asked, even about the party, he's like, no. The people. And you keep mentioning the people over and over again. And my heart feels so warm because now, for the first time, I'm getting a leader who's not deciding by himself, who's not dictating and making decisions by his head, or rather, he's waiting and humbling himself down to give a listening ear to the people and do what the people decide. And what more is democracy than that, right? And I lack words this time. But I love it. I love your thinking. I wish you all the
Thank you.
best. And I hope to see you soon again, right? And the next time I see you this time, I'll be asking you questions and give me evidence and show me what you've done. Because next time I will not want words in this interview. I will want to see the actions. And I know you want to see the actions too, right?
You know, Natasha, you don't need to see actions because the actions have already been shown.
They're already
you know?
starting, yeah?
You can, if you go around here, you'll see things, the things I've managed to do.
True. Yes.
Not as an elected leader, but as a community person.
Yes.
Through my foundation, the Bamo Foundation.
Yes.
I've done a few things around the constituency all around the world. You know, I've done medical camps. You know, I've supported schools, the ECD, with either books or ladies' pads. I've supported churches with either fundraising to raise for youths. The last week we did a youth seminar, educating people on how they need to live the youths, and also helping them, supporting or funding for them to get equipment or tools so that they can use it in doing one or two things.
Yeah.
And a week before, we were at the Masingeri with sporting, football. We had a tournament, which we, the foundation, or my foundation, put together. They helped them, with the tools or the equipment. They use the soccer balls, the nets for volleyball, and it's
Even
just
the jerseys. I saw they had Bamo jerseys.
yes.
Yeah, it was really
And
good.
it's just a few maybe hours ago that I met with some women, or the Francis Lane women who have come together, and they have formed a group whereby they go out and play soccer, they play football, which kind of helps them in their physical, mental health and their social life. And I met with them, and they told me their challenges, and they asked me, or requested me of some few things they need so that they can be able to help themselves, like the football balls, the volleyball, the net, and a few equipment which I was able to support them. You know, those are the things I can do in my small ways. But I hope some of those things which I will do in my small ways, they can be done with legislation too,
Yes.
whereby funds or things can be allocated for certain groups of people for sporting. And sporting, I find it here more so youth sporting has not been very well embraced, but it plays a very key role in helping our children, our youths, in their mental stability, in their physical stability, in their health as a whole. So we'll continue, or I will continue as a person to do that. And I hope if these people decides, these constituents decides that I will be the next MCA, they will see it. You know, there'll be those things which I have to do as a person to help. There are those things which I'm going to kind of rally my colleagues in the assembly so that we can pass some laws. We can put up the, laws which are meaningful to the people, which are people friendly, which are going to help the common mwananchi. And that's my goal as your next MCA.
You know why I want to clap? Because I have realized that most leaders say, we will do, but the guy here has already started doing stuff around, and you've seen it, and I have seen it too. We have all seen it. And to wrap this up, I would like to say, I'm really inspired by you, Mr. David.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best again. I will keep on saying it, and I will keep on reminding you guys to put your minds open to the better world that we need. It starts with us, and it starts with the small efforts like giving a vote next year. I hope you're a registered voter. To make our country better, we have to start by it ourselves. And I hope we meet at the ballot next year in 2027. It was so nice meeting you. I am Natasha, your host, always and forever. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you so much.